Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Peak, and I am the principal investigator of the National Science Foundation supported Converge facility, which is headquartered here at the Natural Hazard Center at the University of Colorado Boulder. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Converge webinar series. Today, during this brief 30-minute webinar, we are going to learn about the National Science Foundation supported RAPID facility. The RAPID facility provides researchers with equipment, software, and support services to collect, process, and analyze perishable data from natural hazard events. Professor Joe Wortman, who is principal investigator of the RAPID facility, will offer a brief introduction to the facility today. Then Troy Tanner, who is principal software engineer at the Applied Physics Laboratory at the University of Washington, will provide a demonstration of the recently released RAPID app, or RApp, which is designed to facilitate mobile data collection. Before we launch into the demonstration, we wanted to note that this webinar is being recorded. The captioned recording and slides will be posted on the Converge website at converge.colorado.edu. Should you have any questions or comments during the webinar, please use the Q&A box or the chat box. If we are unable to respond during this brief webinar, we will provide and post written responses on the Converge webinar webpage for this particular session. The RAPID team is eager to receive your questions, comments, and suggestions, so please feel free to share them today via the chat or the comment box. Without further ado, I am going to turn the slide controls over to our partners at the RAPID facility. Joe, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Lori. And, welcome everyone who's joining us remotely. I'm Joe Wortman, and I direct the RAPID facility that's based here at the University of Washington. I'm going to give a very brief introduction to the facility because we really want to focus today on the RApp mobile software application. And so so the RAPID facility is based at the University of Washington, and we're a partnership between the University of Washington, the Applied Physics Lab, which is where Troy is based, and that's here on campus in Seattle, Oregon State University, Virginia Tech, the University of Florida, and we're also partnered with Converge and working closely with Converge in enhancing some of the social sciences capabilities of the mobile software. Our leadership team includes engineers and natural and social scientists. We are a problem-focused facility. We are not a disciplinary facility, and it's one of the things I think that makes us unique compared to a number of the other NSF-supported centers. Beyond the leadership team, we are now a community of 200 individuals who have either used the RAPID facility in some of their field work or who have attended some of our training workshops, either here in Seattle, and we also have a traveling series as well. So we are a community that's growing, and I hope that, that you will join us in that community. As Laurie mentioned, we focus on providing investigators with the equipment, software, and support services to collect, process, and analyze perishable data from natural hazard events. And I really want to focus on perishable data. We are largely here to support temporary deployments and repeat deployments after events to capture that data that would change with time. We have a vast instrumentation portfolio that includes geomatics equipment. We have a number of long-range and short-range terrestrial laser scanners. We have a series of drones. We have a hydrographic survey vessel. We have an aftermarket Google Street View. We have mobile EEGs, seismological and accelerometer arrays, among a number of other instruments. And the complete details of that are on the website, and I'll give you that link in just a moment. We also have one place-based component of our facility, and that's our virtual environment for data visualization and analysis. It's basically a virtual reality system that's here at the university that some of the users of the RAPID have come back and used to analyze their 3D data. And then, of course, there is RApp, which is going to be the focus of the presentation today. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with our science plan, but I'm just going to call attention to our principal scientific goal, which is to inform natural hazards simulation models, impact assessments, and performance assessments. And it's a cycle that's driven by grand challenges that has dictated strategic research reconnaissance approaches. And the one I really want to highlight here is integrated data collection and integration of data sources afterwards. And that's really one of the things that RApp does very well. Those kind of strategic approaches for reconnaissance require different types of instrumentation that drove our portfolio, and then applying that portfolio in the field produces data products to address those grand challenges. We have been operational as a facility for 3 years. The first 2 years were dedicated to community building, to having workshops and getting feedback from you about the kind of equipment that you would like, the pain points you have in doing field work and field research and reconnaissance. We spent the second year acquiring and commissioning and beginning our training for the facility, and we have been field operational for just the past year. And in that first year of field operations, we have supported 36 natural hazard reconnaissance deployments worldwide, supporting 15 different organizations that represent 26 individual institutions. So there has been a lot of unique data that has been gathered, and that is openly available on our Design Safe data repository that you'll hear a little bit more about today. If you'd like to know more, please visit us online or visit us in person if you're ever in Seattle, or feel free to drop us a line. Our contact information is available on the website. Our website is a really deep resource for information on the equipment we have, how to access the facility. You can contact us directly. And I want to also say that we run a series of workshops that run across the country each year. We have several of these that are upcoming. And then we have a 1-week training hands-on workshop that takes place every July here in Seattle. And again, more information on that is available online. You can find us just by Googling Rapid Facility. So I'm going to turn it over to Troy, who is going to spend the rest of the presentation on RApp.
Hi, my name is Troy Tanner, and I'm the Rapid IT Director here at the University of Washington. And I'm going to give a brief overview of RApp and some of the tools that it connects to help with the mobile data collection. So when we're talking about RApp, what we're really talking about is an ecosystem of field data collection tools. So this screen here shows Design Safe on the left, and that is the cyber infrastructure set up for the natural hazards community. And that provides cloud-based data storage, analysis, collaboration, publication, and more. And in addition, it provides user account services and authentication for RApp. Design Safe is a separate organization from us, and they reside at TAC at the University of Texas. The other two tools, Mission Control and RApp, are software that we are developing. Mission Control is a web-based portal that allows users to create things like checklists, questionnaires, and review data they've collected with the tablet software. And finally, RApp itself is a mobile app used for the data collection, and any data collected via RApp automatically synchronizes with both Mission Control and Design Safe. And just to review Design Safe again, it is a very large, powerful system that not only allows the collection of the data, but it also does the data metadata tagging. It has a new field recon data model. It's a cloud-based platform. And from Design Safe, you can share data and you can actually do some processing and visualization. Mission Control provides the mission planning and data collection review capabilities of RApp. Items created in Mission Control are automatically loaded onto the RApp iOS app. So by signing into Mission Control and setting it up some of the configuration tools, everything you set up will automatically move to RApp as soon as you sign in. And finally, RApp itself is a mobile app that provides tools for data collection in the field and synchronizes with Mission Control and Design Safe. Note that RApp is an iOS app for iPads only at this time. And within RApp, you can manage checklists, you can take photos, videos, scans, questionnaires, and view KML and KMZ files. So this is a workflow that sort of describes the process moving from Design Safe through Mission Control to RApp and back. So on the left, start with Design Safe. You'll need to have a user account with Design Safe, and you need to set up a project. In Mission Control, you can set up checklists, questionnaires, and any KML files you want to view in the field. RApp, of course, is used for the data collection in the field. And then after you're done with the data collection, you can use Mission Control to review the data and metadata that you collected And finally, going back into Design Safe, that's where you'll see the data files you collected, and you can do all of the analysis and publication. So starting with Design Safe, we're going to move through that workflow, and I'm going to give a brief overview of how you actually, of every step, so that you can see how to set up your account, go through mission control, use RApp, and finally go back to Design Safe. So the first step is signing into Design Safe and making sure you have a user account and you have a project. And you only need to do this once if you already have an account and if there's another project that you want to use. So this is the Design Safe landing website. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click the register button in the top right. And then on the registration screen, we're going to enter your information. And once you have that account created, go to the login button, enter your information to log in. And when you sign into the site, this will be actually your dashboard. This is your landing page. To see where the data is going to reside in Design Safe, select the Research Workbench menu, go down and select the Data Depot button, and then it'll take you into this Data Depot section, and we're in the My Project section. So on the right there is a list of all the projects that either I have created myself or somebody has shared with me. So I could use any of these in RApp if I wanted, but I'm going to create a new project to give you an example of what that looks like. So select the Add button above the menu on the left, and a window will pop open, and you can then create the title for your project. You can add other people that you would like to share it with. By adding other users to the project, it will allow you to share data later on. And finally, at the bottom, just select the Add Project button, and the new project will be created, and now it's there at the top of the list. So that's all you need to do in Design Safe to get started. Just create a user account and make sure you have access to a project to collect data in. Now, the next step of the process is mission control, and this is where you can do some of the planning. So in mission control, we're going to set up a checklist, set up a questionnaire, and upload a KML file to share in the field. So this is the splash screen, the launching page for mission control. So as you can see at the top with the login, it has the Design Safe logo. So that's a reminder that you use your Design Safe account to sign into mission control. Hit the sign in button. And this is the mission control landing page. So we're in the checklist section, as you can see highlighted on the left. And so we're going to click the plus button at the lower right, and that is going to start creating a new checklist. It'll ask us for the name. So just enter a name for the checklist, hit the create button. And now the new checklist is created, and you can add more sections and add more items. And then by clicking the button at the top right, the little edit button, it'll actually stop the creation process. And then when you're done, you've actually got this checklist here. So this shows a checklist with nothing selected. And at the very top in the center where it says field equipment with the down arrow, that's a menu for all of the other checklists you've created. So you can toggle between and move between any of your other checklists whenever you wish. And as you're, even from mission control, you can start filling out the checklist if you want to keep track of everything that you want to take in the field with you. And by selecting this button at the top left, it kind of looks like a cloud. That lets you copy checklists created by other users. So when you create a checklist, you can choose whether you want to share it with others or not. And if you do, they'll be able to come in here, open this menu, and make a copy. So if you have a team that you want to share the same checklist with, you just need to create your checklist, make sure that you share it, and then your team members will be able to come in and download a copy of it. Selecting the questionnaire templates button on the left, that takes us to the questionnaire section. And very similar to how you create a checklist, you can start creating questionnaire templates. So you hit the plus button, it opens up the new questionnaire, and you put in the information. You can add items and add questions. And then when you're done, hit the done button, and then your questionnaire is created. So both the checklist that I created and the questionnaire I just created will automatically show up in RApp. So mission control is just a place for managing and editing these items. And so just like the checklist, you can hit the download button, and it will show you a list of all of the questionnaires that users have chosen to share with you. You can select copy, and then you'll have a copy of that questionnaire as well. And note that when you copy a questionnaire, it's not referencing the original one that the other user made. So you'll have your own copy of it that you can rename and edit as you wish, and it's not going to affect the original questionnaire. and select the assets section on the left, takes us to the place where we'll be able to review data and manage the KML files. So this is the map view, and the button at the bottom right of the map is the KML panel. So if you select that button, it'll open the panel, and this shows you all of the KML files you've already uploaded. So a lot of people find KML files useful for being able to put place markers on the map easily, and you can create KML files by using something like Google Earth and then choosing to export the KML file. Once you have done that, you can upload it here and it will show up on the map. And I'm going to show you what that looks like really quickly. So by selecting the upload button at the bottom of the panel, it'll open up the upload dialog. So you can select the choose files button. It will open up the file dialog on your computer. You can select the file you want to upload. It puts it in the queue. You can upload multiple files if you wish. When you're ready to upload, hit the upload button. It shows you the progress. And then finally, it updates this panel, and now we've got the new item in the middle there. And if you select the KML file, it will load the KML, put the markers on the map, and zoom in for you. So this is a way that you can review and make sure that the KML and the markers look like you expect. And once again, the KML files you've uploaded here are going to automatically show up in RApp for you. So now when you have the tablet and you open RApp, you'll be able to have the same view. So finally moving to RApp, and this is our iOS iPad application. So it only runs on an iPad. And this is a step where you'll actually be doing the data collection. So this is the very starting screen for an iPad. So you can see we've got RApp as an app on the home screen. So select RApp to launch it. It will open up. This is the splash screen. And then we'll ask you for different ways of signing in. So one way to sign in is with the DesignSafe account. You'll need to do that the very first time. And once you've signed in on iPad, you have the option of allowing the app to use a fingerprint to sign in on subsequent times. So you can use the Touch ID, and then if you have much faster access to opening up RApp. RApp requires a user sign in every time it opens because the data inside is protected. And so there's no way to bypass using a user authentication to sign in. But if you register your fingerprint and use the Touch ID, it'll make signing in a lot faster. And then you just put your fingerprint over the Touch ID reader and it'll sign you in. So this is the home screen for RApp. This is what we call the menu screen. So it has several tiles that let you jump directly to different sections. And this is user configurable. So if you go into the settings section by clicking that tile at the bottom right, it'll take you into the configure section, and you can choose how many tiles are on the home screen, and you can reorganize it. There's quite a few choices to look at. Every button you see on the left menu and the right submenu in RApp has an icon directly, a button in the menu screen. So you can set it to be at your home screen. And the little white boxes at the top center of the screen are the shortcut to the menu screen. So no matter where you are in RApp, you can always hit that button and it'll take you to that home screen. So going into operation, we're going into the checklist section. So this is the checklist that I uploaded earlier in Mission Control. I created it and it automatically transferred. And you can see it even stores these items that I've already highlighted. So it ties into the same system so that that information that those changes that you make automatically move into RApp. You don't need to do any manual synchronization on your end. Of course, you need to have a network connection for the transfers to work, but once you do, everything works pretty seamlessly. And moving into the project section on the left by clicking that button, this is the same list of projects that you saw under My Account in DesignSafe, including the new one we created, the webinar at the very top. So in order for data to move into DesignSafe, it needs to know which project you want the data to reside in, and that's due to data security. So in order to have you don't need to select a project to use RApp, but none of the data is going to show up in DesignSafe unless you have a project selected. So I just hit the select button and that becomes my active project. If I want to change projects, I just click the blue change button, but this lets you know which project is active. Finally, we go to the assets section, and this is where you'll see the thumbnails and all of the data you collect, which we call assets. At the very top, you'll see a path, And that shows you where in DesignSafe these files are going to reside. So this is an exact copy of what you see in DesignSafe. So as we add files here, when we move back into DesignSafe, it'll make it easier for you to identify where those files went. So to create our first asset, collect our first data, we just hit the plus button at the bottom right. A little panel opens up. These are the different types of things you can collect. At the top, collections are basically folders. It's a way to organize different files. And at the bottom are the different types of data you can collect, the different assets. So if we select the photo button, it goes into the camera view. This is like any other mobile device. You just select once you have the view you like, you just select the white circle at the right and it'll take the picture. And then it shows you this preview of both the picture as well as some metadata and information you can add to it. So you can change the label, you can change the file name, and you can add a description. And when you're happy with what you have here, you hit the create button and it actually saves it to this grid. So after you take a second picture, you start to get this grid view, and the little green circles you see at the bottom right, those are what we call the data sync indicators. So that lets you know that the data has been synchronized into DesignSafe. So initially when I took the first picture, that circle is just a white circle with a gray border, but after a moment, it moved the file up to DesignSafe and then it turned green. So that's how you know which, as you start collecting more and more files, that'll let you know which files have automatically synchronized to DesignSafe. So this is the grid view. And if you hit plus and select a questionnaire, it opens up the menu asking you which questionnaire do you want to create. Because you can have multiple questionnaire templates, this menu pops up first to allow you to select which one you actually want to fill out. So select the one, there's only one at this time, and the actual questionnaire opens up. And you can fill it out yourself, or you could hand it to whoever you're actually talking to. And you can put in their name if you wish. It's optional. You don't need to fill out any of this information. And then when you're done, close the keyboard and just click on the screen to fill out the questionnaire. Once you're done, select the create button. And just like the photos, it creates this little tile on the screen and it shows that it's been synchronized. To create a collection, which is a grouping of assets, open the panel, select the collection button, and you'll be prompted to provide a label. Once you're done with that, close it, create it, and now we have a collection. So you can click and drag the assets after you've got a collection and move them into the collection. You can also click on a collection and then you move into the collection itself. Now up at the top above the tiles, you'll see that that directory has changed because now we're one level in, and that'll be represented the same way in DesignSafe. So now we're not only at the home directory, we're in collection 1. You can also, from within a collection, you can just create more assets and they will automatically reside in the collection. You won't need to drag them in there. On the top right is our filter panel, and that allows you to do things like choosing between displaying collections or not. If you have a lot of files and you've grouped them into different collections and you're not able to find what you're looking for, you can turn group by collections off, select the no, and then you'll see all of your files at once, and that might make it easier to find them. You can also choose how files are sorted and even what asset types are displayed on the screen. If you select the list view, it has the same assets as the grid view, but now it's in a list format. So it provides a different way of moving through and viewing the thumbnails for the different assets. One neat thing added to the list view is it will display the distance from your current location to where that asset was captured. So that can be really valuable if you want to return to where something was taken or something was collected. And this will give you a sense of how far away you are from that item. And once again, it has the green circles indicating the data has been synchronized. And finally, in the assets section in the map view, it's very similar to the mission control. It starts off with just a map view of where you are, and it displays the assets that you've collected as little markers. If you click on one of them, it will open up a little brief summary of the asset itself. And if you click on the bottom right, this is very similar to the Kml panel mission control. So if you want to see where all those markers are again, on your map in the field, if you just select that button, the panel will open up. All those KML files we had before are displayed here. Select the one you're interested in. It will be active, and the markers will display on the map again. In addition to this asset information. We also have guides for all of the instruments that we manage on the iPad itself. So users are able to quickly access the manual of the equipment they're using. And in the future, we'll be providing guides for how to use both RApp as well as other types of tools. One thing to note with RApp is it requires a network connection to upload data to DesignSafe. With the iPads that we provide, you can use Wi-Fi if available, but they also have the capability to have a cellular data plan attached. The cellular data plan is not part of the iPad itself, but you can choose to add it yourself if you're going to be in more remote areas and you want to make sure that you have access to the network, almost 100% of the time. If you are outside of range of a network while you're collecting the data, you will see that the data is not syncing, but as soon as you sign on to a Wi-Fi network or you come in range of your cellular plan, the data will start updating for you automatically. So we've collected the data in the field using RApp, so now we're going to go back to mission control and we're going to review that data before moving on to DesignSafe. So the files have gone to both mission control and DesignSafe, but this provides you a way of quickly reviewing either in the field or after you've returned. So this is the assets section of mission control, and this displays all of the projects that we have collected data for. So at the bottom is that one we just are working with, the webinar. And if I hit the plus button, it will expand that project and show all the files that we've just been working with. And as you can see, it shows the collections, it shows the hierarchy of which files are located in with what collection, confirming the organization of the data. And if you select the map view, it takes us back to the map for mission control. We can view those files again if we open up the assets section, select the actual project we're interested in, the webinar, and those files are now displayed on the map. And you see them both on the map as icons as well as in a list view. And you can select either the item in the list or you can select the marker on the map. And by doing that, it will be active and it'll show you the image and it'll show you the metadata attached. So finally, the end of this process, going to DesignSafe, we're going to just quickly look at where the data landed, and that's really the launching point for being able to do sharing, analysis, publication, etc. So all the data collected, once again, is automatically uploaded to DesignSafe. And this is where we left off. It's our projects view, and the webinar project is at the top. So by selecting that project, it opens up. And this, at the very top of the little box at the bottom, you'll see the path that you saw in the RApp app. And so that's sort of confirming you're in the right section. And you can see the collection we created as well as the photo we took, the first photo. By selecting that collection, it'll open up and you can see the files inside. And by selecting any of the files, it'll open them up in DesignSafe, and you can then move them around, you can change them, and you can use the metadata. And from here, you can apply the data model, and you can do many other things. So there's quite a few steps in the process, but just to reiterate what you need to get started is first, you need to go to DesignSafe and you need to sign up for an account and make sure you have access to a project. Then you go to Mission Control, and that's where you set up any of your RApp components. And finally, contact the Rapid facility, and we will set you up with an iPad with RApp already installed. And once you sign in with your DesignSafe account, you'll be ready to go. So that's the status of RApp today, but we wanted to share with you a few things that are coming in the near future to RApp. The first thing we're working on is what we call advanced questionnaires. So the questionnaire I showed today is really a simple form that allows you to just have multiple selection or single selection or text entry. We're working to provide branching and skipping logic to those questions so that users can flow to different sections of a questionnaire based on their answers, and making the data available in various formats. We're also working to create what we call a Teams section, a Teams feature that allows you to share the information that you're collecting with your team members. This will be something that's opt-in only. Someone can't just sign you up to their team, but once you opt in, you'll be able to share information with them and you'll be able to access their information. And this will help with teams going out in the field as far as organizing as well as confirming the data that's being collected. And finally, as I mentioned before, RApp is only an app for iPads right now. We're working on something we call RApp Lite, which will be an iPhone version of RApp. So that will make it much more accessible to people as well as in a smaller footprint. It will have pretty much all of the same features as the main RApp application, but it will be designed to operate more efficiently on a smaller screen. And so that's my quick overview of RApp, and thank you for attending, and I'm going to pass it back to Lori.
Thank you so much, Troy, for the overview of the RApp, and thank you to Joe for the overview of the Rapid facility. We want to thank everyone who joined the webinar today. And on behalf of both the Rapid and the Converge teams, we want to thank the National Science Foundation for the support of this webinar series. And we hope you will contact us at converge@colorado.edu if you have questions or suggestions. We will also provide written feedback to the questions that were shared during the webinar today. And please visit converge.colorado.edu/sign up to receive alerts regarding future webinars and other resources being developed from Converge and our wonderful partners, including the Rapid facility at the University of Washington. With that, we would like to thank again everyone who joined today and wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.